Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all staying safe, and I hope you can see the screen and hear us loud and clear. You can inform us in the chat box if you face any trouble during the session. I'm Jana Ayoub, and I would like to thank you all for attending today's webinar, Cloud, the New Business Dimension. I would like to make a few announcements. First, kindly note that this session is being recorded and will be published on our YouTube channel. Second, the Q&A mode has been enabled, and you should be able to see a question icon on the bottom right corner when you drag the side menu bar. Feel free to type any questions during the session, and we will answer them at the very end. And now we will share a quick survey on your screen, just for us to know you a little bit better. Okay, so we will be sharing the results now. Thank you all for participating. So the agenda for today is as follows. First, my colleague Ms. Mary Lupisan, our SAP account executive, will be talking about who we are, followed by Cloud the New Business Dimension, which will be led by our pre-sales director, Mr. Ajay Prasad. Finally, we will have a Q&A session to answer all your questions. We are sure today's session will help you start making smart investments in cloud solutions to manage and integrate all your business functions in a single streamlined solution. And now let me hand over to Ms. Mary Lupisan to take it forward.
Thank you, Jana. Good morning, everyone, and welcome again. Before we dive into the presentation, I wanted to quickly share with you about Inflexion. We are a certified SAP Gold partner for MENA region with offices in UAE, Lebanon, Oman, and an offshore development center in India. We are in business for more than 13 years and have helped successfully deliver more than 160 projects. We were able to provide quality service to our growing 2,000 SAP licensed users through our family of about 100 plus experts, of which 95% are SAP certified with combined 750 years of SAP solution expertise. Our deep-rooted SAP relationship, being a value-added reseller and build partners with PCOE and recognized expertise of solutions in industry vertical, provides us with an ability to deliver focused SAP solutions covering small, medium, and large enterprise, like the ERP solutions SAP S/4HANA, SAP Business by Design, SAP Business One, and SAP Customer Checkout for point of sales. While we also have SAP SuccessFactors, SAP Ariba, and SAP C/4HANA for the line of business. And finally, SAP Analytics and SAP Business Technology Platform, we help you become an intelligent enterprise. Our SAP recognized expertise in SAP Business One, SAP Business by Design, and consumer products highlights our commitment to customers. This designation recognizes the expertise and competencies to distinguish our capabilities from competitors in the market. The requirements include having a trained and certified individuals in a focus area or industry and a track record of customer success and satisfaction. Our SAP certified and highly experienced team of consultants not only provide implementation and rollout services, but can also migrate and upgrade your existing solution. Our SAP PCOE certification ensures high quality of support, maintenance, and service levels, while our build partnership allows us to develop specific customization and adoption for your business requirements. We can help you extend and integrate with SAP or third-party systems as well. And with all these, we serve as your single window provider for your digital transformation journey. So that's about Inflexion and its expertise in a snap. And now, let me hand over to our pre-sales director, Mr. Ajay Prasad, without further ado.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Jana, for the quick introductions and as well as introducing us to this particular webinar. And I would like to welcome everybody who is attending today's webinar. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. And today's webinar is focused on how cloud could be the new dimension for your business. And are you ready to move your business to the cloud? So let me take you through a couple of slides, and then we would like to keep this session very interactive, and hence we have a lot of time for the Q&A in order to be able to answer very specific questions that you might have. Cloud is, I believe these two illustrations clearly give you a picture of what cloud is, and I would like you to take some time to read both of them before we continue. So probably you would have guessed by now the main points that we want to highlight is the word it's magic and it's anytime, anywhere. So cloud is available for you anytime, anywhere, which is what the second illustration is showing you. And the first one is about how it is magical in nature, where you do not have to worry about anything, or how it works, how it is deployed, who's behind it, what is happening. So those are exactly what we would like to pursue as far as cloud is. So moving into a more technical definition of what cloud is. Cloud is a collection of hardware, which includes probably servers, storages, databases, networking components, softwares, which are including of virtual machines, operating systems, analytical systems, as well as new intelligent enterprise-based technologies which are available, which are run on the internet, which is the cloud, to fasten your innovations and be flexible with your resources and grow with the economy of scale. So that is what cloud is, technically speaking. And typically in a cloud service, you will pay for what you are using in order to keep your operational costs low and save a lot of upfront money that you might want to invest if in case you had to run it on premise. As well, it allows you to grow and expand as your business grows. So this is what cloud is in a nutshell. And these components ever keep increasing and changing as we progress and as technology becomes more intelligent. So is cloud a myth? Is it a buzzword? Is it something that is not here to stay? Is it something that the technology specialists are talking about? Well, these numbers talk to you and give and demystify the myth around what cloud is. So as you can see, 90% of companies use some type of typical cloud service. For example, even Gmail, which you would use on your daily email interactions, is a cloud application and is based on the cloud services that are provided by Google. 77% of enterprises have at least one application or a portion of it on the cloud, which essentially goes to show that enterprises which are running very large, valuable businesses are depending on cloud to make their businesses successful, agile, and nimble as well. 1,472 enterprises use different cloud services on an average, as simple as storing your data files on an Azure platform or using OneDrive while you're using Teams communication is a cloud service again. So cloud service could be in the smallest form, and enterprises are using different services in different aspects of their businesses to leverage cloud services which are being provided by various providers. 60% of organizations use cloud technology to store confidential data. Very important. It just goes to show how secure and safe your data is. Gone are those days where people used to believe that what they could see and what they could look at and keep a store and keep the servers within their reach and within their visibility was basically helping it to be secure. It's no more the fact. The fact is that cloud is more secure now, and majority of the people and organizations are depending on storing cloud confidential data on the cloud. So you can see there again that the most important aspects of our life are again stored on the cloud. From a full year perspective, you can see the revenue growth has been 33% year on year, with around $142 billion in revenue that cloud infrastructure people supporting these services earned, as well as enterprises and small businesses spent in order to make this a success. The enterprise SaaS market generates about $20 billion per quarter for software vendors. So you have very popular software vendors like SAP who are moving all their solutions and applications on the cloud. So you have enterprise level applications in ERPs, you could have CRM solutions, which are again running on the cloud, and software vendors are benefiting from this. And this shows in the numbers. So clearly, we believe cloud is here to stay, and cloud is the way to move forward. What are the critical factors or benefits of cloud computing? So as you can see, I have about 5 listed, and these might not be necessarily the only ones, but I believe these are the most important ones as far as cloud computing is. And this is what you would use in your analysis to determine whether you should move your business onto the cloud. As far as reliability, the first and foremost is reliability. Today, we know that we are running businesses and we are running businesses 24/7. So cloud provides that ability to run businesses 24/7, and it is available anytime, anywhere. All we require is internet access and a device to be able to connect and start working with our applications and access our data on the cloud. The other day, I was in a government agency, and they asked me for a document. All I had to do is remove my phone, get into my OneDrive, and then be able to share the application which I had filled up previously as a proof of evidence. And this goes to show that there is no limit of time or limit of service that is there. So cloud is always up, cloud is always running, and most often than not, all service providers provide 99.9% uptime of their services. So it is definitely more reliable than running an on-premise solution, where you have, if in case you have to get this kind of flexibility or reliability, you have to invest in a whole lot of infrastructure as well as human resources to make sure that this is happening, and you are responsible for it as well. So definitely cloud is very reliable. As far as flexibility goes, you again have the great ability to be able to size your applications and size your infrastructure according to your needs. You can always reduce the amount of servers that you're using. You can consolidate the servers. You can grow those servers. You can again engage in higher bandwidth of network depending on how your business demand is growing, and as well as your storage capacities are again flexible. So what does it mean for you as a business? You are able to grow and scale and expand as and when you require, and this happens instantly. It is just a matter of a click of a button where new resources are being added and your business is able to cope with the growth that it is happening. And you can also expand into new geographies. You have data centers which are distributed across the globe, and you can choose the nearest data center of your choice to be able to run your business efficiency as well. At the same time, if in case you need to shrink, you also have the capability to shrink the resources that you're using based on the business that you're growing. So let's assume that you came up with an idea and you launched a new service, and you scaled the service because it was in great demand, and over a period of time you found the service did not attract the kind of response that you're looking at. So you can definitely scale back the resources without having additional damages being caused. In case of on-premise, you would have to go through a whole lot of process of procuring, installing, configuring, and updating these systems and keeping them live. There again, flexibility comes in, and cloud gives you the chance of being flexible. When it comes to cost effectiveness, definitely cloud is cost effective over a period of time, because you have the option of paying on a monthly basis, and you pay for what you use, and you also do not have to make upfront investments. So your cash flows are healthier, your operational costs are lower, and your capital investment is lower as well, thus allowing your business to use the money that you have efficiently to run and generate more projects and more business, which is what you should be aiming at. So not trying to spend your money on IT and IT infrastructure to run your business, but that is what the service provider does, because that's their dedicated business. Keeping your systems current is also very important, because you would like to make use of the latest technologies that are available in the market. You would want to use those services which are available in order to grow your business. Again, these are parameters which drive your business, where today software and services that are being offered are actually adding to the way in which you grow your business. Again, coming back to an example of a company which used to manufacture generators, we used to always sell these generators, and after they moved to cloud and they started using the latest cutting edge technologies which made them an intelligent enterprise, they started offering their machines as lease services along with predetermined upgrades and updates, a new form of service which grew their business to a greater height and differentiated them from a competition. Similarly, you have to keep all your services up and running. You have to keep your operating system on the newest levels and patches. You have to keep your security at newest level and patches. All of this is done for you by the service provider on the cloud, and hence your systems are always current, and you're using the latest technology platforms like artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, and machine learning, which help you grow your business and get into a new dimension of business as well. Finally, and lastly, it is very secure. The reason is that the data centers themselves physically are ironclad. They are like central bank vaults where everything is very secure. They are again managed by bulletproof walls. They have redundant power supplies. They have redundant internet access. They have redundant all possible aspects. So there is no single point of failure. And along with that, there is a huge pool of resources who are managing and monitoring these servers and infrastructure around the clock. They are also able to manage and mitigate any internet-based threats and attacks that are happening by applying the latest security policies and protocols and keeping them up to date. And most of the data centers are again graded and certified by independent agencies to ensure that these security protocols are met, and they are constantly updated and monitored as well. So that is how you can find that 60% of the enterprises are keeping confidential data on the cloud. It's like saying you would rather keep your money in the bank than keep it in your house, because it's difficult to protect your house, and the bank is actually protecting your money. It's the same which applies even with computing and data, because data is today the new money. So these are the benefits of cloud computing. I believe this gives you a good idea and gives you a lot of reason why you should move your business onto the cloud. Moving on, we have different types of cloud providing or cloud computing services that are offered, and these are again meant for different applications, and they are meant for different ways a business can use. Your business could use all of them, or could use any one of them, or a combination of them. So it again depends on what the business is and what the requirement is. So primarily, the three main types of cloud computing services that are offered are infrastructure as a service, which is IaaS, platform as a service, which is PaaS, and software as a service, which is SaaS, which is the most popular of all, and which is what most of the enterprises are today using. So let's look at what are the main differences. The chart very clearly indicates what are the main differences and the components that make up of a cloud service provider, as well as if you're running it on-prem. So you have a fourth column which talks to you about how you would have to do it if you had to run all of these on premises. Here again, we have the ones in yellow are the ones, or the orange color are the ones which are managed by you as a customer, whereas the gray boxes are the ones which are managed by a cloud service provider. Again, as you can see, that software as a service is the best case scenario where everything is managed by the vendor, including the application as well as data, and softwares like SAP ERP or SAP S/4HANA or SAP Business by Design fall under this category of software as a service. Again, when we're talking about platform as a service, it is primarily targeted at companies or organizations who like to develop new applications or exploring new apps that need to be developed or mobile apps that need to be developed. So it is a delight for developers to be able to use platform as a service, where they are able to get and manage and focus only on the application and the data aspects of it, whereas the underlying technology as well as the operating system and services are managed by the service provider. Moving on to infrastructure as a service is an option where you bring your own software and your operating system, whereas hardware is rented or managed by your service provider. This again gives you the flexibility that you require in order to run your own applications, which could be custom built or which could be third-party solution providers who have given you the application, and you rent and manage your infrastructure on the cloud itself. So these is basically the three main forms of computing services that cloud infrastructure provides. And you could use a combination of these, or you could, and some companies only use software as a service depending on the requirement and the scale of the organization as well. So moving on to types of cloud deployment. Again, we have multiple types of cloud deployment that happens. And the main three types of cloud deployment are starting with public cloud, private and hybrid cloud. So public cloud is more of multi-tenant architecture where you would use a common pool of solutions and hardware infrastructure that is shared by multiple users, thereby giving you the economy of scale. But at the same time, by having multi-tenant approach, you then have your own personalized tenant on which you can customize and you can adapt to your business to those required needs. And most of these are run and managed by their operating by the software vendors themselves, and they run the service in a shared environment, again bringing in the scalability and flexibility that you require. Whereas on the other hand, private cloud could be a data center that you manage and you build, and it is available on the internet, or you could have a specific infrastructure that is given by a cloud provider, which is solely accessible by you, or you could rent some space in the data center itself to have your own infrastructure, which is managed within the data center. All of these three scenarios lead to be a private cloud scenario where software as a service also could be deployed on an exclusive basis for your business because of the certain amount of scale and flexibility that you require, which probably a multi-tenant environment on a public cloud might not offer. So you can again have a combination of private or public cloud applications that an enterprise uses, or you can go with any one of them as well. Finally, we have the hybrid cloud, where you have applications on premise as well as a combination of private and public cloud infrastructure as well. So there might be some amount of applications that you would run on premise because you prefer them to run on premise for various other reasons, and you still would want to keep a backup or shared the data on a public cloud so that it's accessible and it is safe as well. So this is where the hybrid cloud scenario comes in. Again, this is subject to discussions, and on a case-to-case basis, you can decide which of the three options are most suitable. Majority of the people today are using public cloud services, where it gives them the singularity as well as the flexibility that as an individual business would like to have as well. So that brings me to the end of what cloud computing is and how cloud could be your next dimension to move to the cloud, how your business could adapt and move to the cloud as well. And I believe we have done sufficient amount of justification to help you understand and help your businesses take a call on moving to the cloud. Now, moving on to SAP, as we are SAP partners, and what does SAP have to offer in terms of cloud? Let's start with the enterprise resource planning or business management solutions that SAP is the market leader of. So SAP as a market leader has three main products that it offers for the SME and the large enterprises, which is SAP Business One, SAP Business by Design, and SAP S/4HANA. SAP Business One again can be hosted on a cloud environment. It could be on a private or a public cloud environment, or it could be partner hosted environment as well. There are multiple modules, but the message is that SAP Business One is available on the cloud as well. SAP Business by Design is a pure software as a solution, a subscription-based model, which is available as an extensive and flexible solution for your businesses, which is again capable of adapting it in multiple geographies as well as for group level companies. And finally, we have SAP S/4HANA, the flagship product from SAP, which is available on again a private or a public cloud deployment and covers all your business needs as you would probably look at. SAP S/4HANA is industry focused, supporting about 32 industry verticals in all, and is able to cover all your requirements and needs to run your business successfully. Bear in mind that all these three products have embedded analytics and intelligent enterprise technologies built into them, where they have artificial intelligence and machine learning capabilities, as well as predictive and augmented analytics, which are built into these products, thereby making them the most innovative and easy products to use in your environment. So we have Moving on, we have SAP line of business solutions, which are purely software as a solution, software as a service based model on subscription, starting with SAP SuccessFactors, which is again the number one human management or human experience management solution in the market today, with almost about 2.5 million users across the globe who are using SAP SuccessFactors on a daily basis. SAP SuccessFactors gives you a complete human capital management suite where you can start with small and grow as your business grows. You can take a modular approach. You can start with just the recruitment module, or you can start with the recruitment and onboarding module, and then you can go into the talent management suite, and then you can go into the core HR suite, or start with core HR suite as well. It has various combinations that it allows you to do. And as well, in the talent management, you can start with the basics of performance management as well as learning management, and then go into the more advanced modules like compensation, succession planning as well, which SAP SuccessFactors gives you, and is a very good case study as far as software as a service is concerned, and is the leading cloud solution from SAP on the public environment. Next, we have SAP Ariba, which has two components of the solution. One is the business network, wherein which you can trade and manage your commerce on the SAP Ariba network. You can invite bidders, and you can bid for bid on aspects that are being traded on the internet, as well as you have SAP Ariba supply chain software aspect of it, where you can manage your own end-to-end supply chain management. Again, SAP Ariba is offered on the cloud and is a software as a service subscription, which is available. And then finally, we have SAP C4HANA, which is SAP's CRM offering on the cloud, starting with marketing, covering sales and service, and then last but not the least, even an e-commerce platform, which is available for your businesses to adapt on their systems as well. As we are all aware, today a lot of business is moving online, a lot of procurement and purchases happens online, and we need to have mobility as well as traceability, which are most critical factors, and all of these are addressed by SAP C4HANA, again deployed as software as a service, where you can go with a modular approach. You can start buying with an individual module and then scale up as your business grows as well. All of them again have embedded analytics, again have the same features and functionalities as far as user interface is concerned. They are mobile ready as well. They all have responsive user interface, making it easy and quick for you to adapt and use on your tablets, on your laptops, or on your mobile phones as well. And also the embedded analytics capabilities are built in because they all run on the HANA platform, giving you the required additional benefit of doing business intelligence and analytics within the systems themselves. Again, all of these are offered as subscription models from SAP, and they have their own set of users which are growing exponentially year on year as well. Finally, we have the SAP Business Technology Platform, which is a platform as a service which is used to manage and work with SAP and non-SAP products. You can use this platform as a service, and you can then be able to integrate between SAP and non-SAP systems as well, or SAP and third-party systems as well. And it also gives you a host of intelligent technologies which are readily available to be deployed on your solutions, starting with SAP Intelligent Robotic Process Automation, which is the RPA, which is the new buzz in the technology region in order to help your business gain efficiency. We then have conversational AI, which is also something which is embedded within SAP S4HANA, where you can start talking and chatting as well with the system as if it was another human as well. So your user interface experience or a user experience is definitely much higher. We have Internet of Things as well, IoT, which is offered as a service. We have AI business services, which are also offered, where you can use these services to build applications and embed them in your own applications as well. Finally, we also have analytics, which is available on the cloud, and we have a host of analytics solutions which are available on the cloud, And as you're probably aware, SAP also is the #1 analytics provider in the market. And starting with SAP Analytics Cloud, which is a full-fledged business intelligence and planning tool, which is available on the cloud, which has augmented and embedded analytics, which are there, which seamlessly connects with all SAP solutions to be able to bring out those data with pre-built-in templates, or you could also use them with third-party solutions as well. We then have SAP Data Warehouse Cloud, again a solution which is offered on the cloud for data warehousing. We have the business intelligence also on the cloud, and we have SAP BW for HANA also available on the cloud with SAP Business Technology Platform. So these are some of the applications that you could use in order to build new applications or integrate with existing SAP applications or extend current SAP applications that are running on your infrastructure as well, using this as a platform. Again, this is a PaaS offering or a platform as a service offering from SAP, and we are happy to enable you on this and give you any kind of solutions that you would like to do. So that brings me to the end of my presentation today, and we would like to engage you in another survey, which we will be publishing shortly. So bear with me for a moment while I shift to the survey, and I think we have a survey right now. Please note that we have the Q&A mode enabled, and we welcome you to ask as many questions as you want on the Q&A mode, and we can keep it as interactive, and we will help you answer them as well. We will keep the survey on for a little more. We know we have 4 questions, and I see people are answering them as yet. We have slowly people engaging with us. We shall wait for another minute. I think we have 7 other participants who are trying to answer. Great, thank you for your participation. Let me just now publish the results. You should be able to see the results, and you can scroll through as well. Thank you so much for participating in our survey. So I welcome any questions that you have. Please feel free to chat in the chat box. You should be able to see a question mark on the right-hand side bottom of your screen, where you can ask your questions. Feel free to ask us any kind of question that you have. We'll be happy to answer them for you. We see somebody who's typing, just waiting for the questions. From cost effectiveness perspective, which cloud deployment criteria is considered to be the best? So from a cost effectiveness, you would be looking at a public cloud, and along with the public cloud, it again depends on the type of application or the type of usage that you're looking at. That would determine what is the cost effectiveness and which option to go with. So we can go with the public cloud, and it could be software as a service, and these would be the most cost effective. But it again depends on the type of application or type of service that you're venturing at. I hope that answers your question. Great, thank you. Do we have any more questions? Security issues are the main concern making us hesitate to join the cloud. Well, security is of utmost importance on the cloud. Most of the service providers have multiple layers of security, starting from physical security as well as internet security, because those are the two most vulnerable ways in which your data could be compromised. So data can be compromised either physically when somebody goes into your system and probably tries to rob your server. So we had one such incident where one of our customers had their servers and computers stolen as part of a larger robbery in their office. And I believe it was a very secure environment, but they couldn't actually stop the servers being stolen. And then it cost them about 3 months of outrage till they could actually get back to business. So data centers are generally stored in a non-disclosed areas. They are not known or made known well. So they have again huge physical based security levels that are maintained. Again, there are a lot of detection systems which are maintained for unauthorized usage to be there. And coming on to the virtual part of it, when it comes to the internet, where you can then hack into a cloud as system, those are again managed and monitored with the use of firewalls, with the use of security protocols, as well as proactively running multiple intrusion detection scans, as well as applying all the security policies that are governed and managed by the council. And then these are audited and managed as well. So that is the reason why you find that 60% of the enterprises are readily and safely storing their applications, and they believe it is very secure. So I believe security should be least of your concerns, depending on this type of service provider that you have and the type of service that you adapt. It becomes very easy for you to be secure as well. I hope that answers your question. Moving on to the next question, we have a question which says, what is the key difference between private and public cloud? So the key difference between private and public cloud is essentially in public cloud, you use shared resources and you get into a multi-tenant environment, which means that it is not necessarily an exclusive cloud hosting for you. Whereas in the private cloud, you could have you could have your own data center, which is basically on the internet, and that also is called as a private cloud in terms of terminology. Or you could have an exclusive set of resources and applications which are deployed only for you and in your app and your organization. That could be on a shared platform or a non-shared platform. That is what a private cloud is. I hope that answers your question. So the next question is, what distinguishes SAP or the service provider by Inflexion from other cloud hosting providers? Why do we go with them and not others? So essentially, when you are talking about software as a service is generally given by SAP themselves, where they manage the data centers, they host the applications, and they do end-to-end service as well. Okay. When it comes to partner hosted solution, it essentially means that SAP gives us the flexibility to run and host the solution as a partner on our data centers of our choice or with other hypervisors or service providers, as we call it. So it again is a matter of choice as to what type of application and what is the constraint that you have, based on which you decide which provider to go with. So for example, SAP Business One is not available from SAP hosted in the region. The reasons could be due to commercial aspects, not necessarily technical. So hence, when a customer wants to host SAP Business One on a cloud environment, they go with us as Inflexion, where we give them full-fledged or a fully managed cloud, or they could go with a hosting provider where they go with an AS or infrastructure as a service model, where the management is again based on the responsibility of the customer. So the next question is, as SAP customers, are we allowed to choose our cloud hosting or service provider and hosting country? Any limitations for SAP to work with any provider? Again, this depends on the kind of solution that you're adapting. So, for example, if you are talking about SAP Business One, then in that case, you have the choice to select the solution provider or the cloud provider where you would want to host and which country you want to host. If you're talking about SAP Business by Design, which is a software as a service, there you have the choice to choose the hosting country, but not necessarily the provider, because it is again hosted and managed by SAP themselves. And again, when it comes to SAP SuccessFactors, you have the choice of choosing the country in which you want to host, depending on where the data centers are located. So again, it is based on the solution and based on the approach. All of these combinations are possible. What if I decided at some point to stop my subscription? What will happen to my data, and would I be able to retrieve it on premise? Again, this is a question which is subject to the kind of solution that you're looking at. Definitely, when you stop the subscription, the data is made available to you. The data could be in the form of an application, could be in the form of a database dump, could be in the form of Excel sheets or comma-separated documents. So it again, the data is always owned by the customer. It is not owned by the service provider. So the data is something that you can retrieve, and whether you can run it on premise again depends on the kind of solution that you have adapted and the kind of software that you're using. So this is again something which we have to specifically look at, Tariq. I think this is why we have a hybrid deployment method, security, so we can store our sensitive data in our data centers and private cloud and just use public one for the other business operations. In fact, it's the other way around, where actually they store more of the sensitive data on the cloud, and they store non-important or non-essential businesses on premise because it is more secure. The cloud is more secure. Definitely, you wouldn't want to store your valuables in your house, but you would prefer to store them in the bank. And you would still keep certain things which you would want to use on a day-to-day basis, which are low of value in your house. So that's the same concept here with the cloud as well. Great. I hope I've answered all your questions. Is there any more? Are we waiting for any more questions? Great. I think, okay, we have somebody who's still typing a question. If we decided to move to cloud, will Inflexion help in uploading all our current data to the cloud, and how much time would it take to deploy and be running? So again, Inflexion does support your cloud movement. We have we help with your migration, and again, the time and the cost are again something which are subjective to the amount of volume of data that you have or the kind of applications that we need to move. So all of these have to be looked at, and basically it could be anywhere between 2 days to the project could run as long as even probably a month. It again depends on the volume of data, depends on various other parameters. So it could be as less as 2 days, or it could be as more as 4 weeks. So does that mean each SAP solution is considered to be a specific type of service, or example, SAP by design is SaaS? Well, SAP, so there are two aspects of it. So SAP has solutions as far as SAP is concerned, and anything which is offered on the cloud is actually a service. So SAP Business by Design is a solution which is offered as a service on a software as a service model. So SAP Business One, if it is hosted and managed, then it is a service. If it is not hosted and managed, then it becomes a solution which can be deployed on-premise as well. Great. I think we don't have any more questions. I see someone is typing. Thank you, Mr. Jamal, for your precious time as well. Thank you, Mr. Weil. Thank you, Vaud. Thank you, Robert. Thank you all for your time and patience, and appreciate you participating in the webinar today.